She did.
Must be about 8 years ago.
Thank you very much.
Your mom was Jessica.
And what? Here, yeah. Another Stella. And most I don't think there's any question. Filtration is in some fashion. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. It was great everybody was quiet at the right time. Okay, the time is now 7 p.m. and the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were
Carol Harvey.
Noel Sawyer. John Schaefer.
Aaron Smith.
David Buttery.
Suzanne LeClaire.
Kip Wiley. Thank you. If any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I ask that you state your concerns now. Hearing none, the next agenda item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody. We are on agenda item number 4, and the presentation was a special historical mural recognition. And Ralph Holloway, I know I saw him.
He's back there, sir.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to take a moment to introduce, and I know Ralph and Scott.
Excuse me, Beth, if you'll just give us your name and address, and then you can do that.
Okay, very good. Beth Huber, 2213 Valley View Drive here in Woodland Park. I am the president of the Arts Alliance, and I wanted to ensure to recognize both Scott and Ralph, who will be here this evening to do the presentations for those folks who gave so much to ensure that the mural was a success. But without the vision of Ralph Holloway and without the work of Scott Stearman, it never would have come to fruition. So with that, I will have Scott and Ralph come up here and do the presentations.
Thank you very much, Beth.
Ralph Holloway, 216 West Midland, 118 West Midland. Welcome to the presentation. And we're glad to be able to do this today. And it is, it's really kind of hard to get started and be able to say thanks to all the people who had anything to do with it. We'd be here for days and days if we tried to name everybody, but tonight is a special recognition for those involved in the city government in any way. And, you know, this is Woodland Park, and this area is extremely independent. I found that out many years ago. And my dream when we started the Arts Alliance back in 2004 was to try to pull the community together so that we could bring art and culture and a lot of different things in here. And I will tell you that the mural project finally was the one that I saw where we started really truly working together, and it was so exciting from a personal standpoint since I had been working on that, and then for all of the people who were involved, and particularly like Scott, who took the chairmanship of this committee and ran with this. And so it was extremely exciting to see the community come together, and I think it was very apropos. And because, as you know, as you look at this and you see here, it's called The Story of Us. And so us came together on this particular project. So I'm going to call up individually some of the people that were, and just say a little something. So Chief DeYoung, would you come up here first, please? He didn't even know he was coming up here, did he? Scott? Oh, wow. We'd like to make this presentation to the police department.
Lois, the artist, needs to be standing here.
That's right. Lois needs to come up. I thought she was standing over there and coming. Lois is the artist, Lois Sprague. And as you can see, you know, this is a crazy, crazy world. We got some funny stories about this whole thing. And it's kind of nice to know that, you know, here in Woodland Park, we're a little bit blessed to be kind of isolated from some of the craziness. However, every once in a while, crazy comes through, I think, and one of the stories about the mural was just kind of funny. Was that one individual was passing through town. You know, it couldn't have been a Woodland Park resident, and it wasn't. But one resident was passing through town and got real upset that we had a Native American on the wall. And he personally was going to take it down if we didn't paint over it. I guess he didn't think about when his generation came here, they might have been a little upset too, but anyway, it was nice to know that we could depend on the police department to kind of help us out in those kind of situations when you have those kind of things that happen. And not only were they there to help protect us on a few little things like that, but they also, police department got together and made a very nice contribution. And as you know, those of you who've been there, our ex-chief Larson has a very visible presence on that wall. So, Chief, we thank you, and we look forward to working with you more in there. Gary Crane, would you come up, please? Gary is the chairman of the Historical Preservation Committee. The very first time that we started talking about this project years ago, we went to this city committee and really started discussing with them what we could do in murals. We were really talking about a lot of murals at the time, and as Sally will remember, we identified a lot of different places. Eventually it got isolated down to the cultural center, but of all of the people that really supported this early on, the Historical Preservation Committee stood behind us. They gave us ideas. Larry Black on that committee also was very influential in helping us in the history. And they also made some financial contributions out of their budget that helped us bring this to completion. And so, Gary, thank you for all of the work and everything you've done, and we look forward to doing some more of these kind of projects throughout the city with the Preservation Commission.
Thank you, Ralph. And if I could, I would like to say something. Gary Crane, 2881 Sunnywood Avenue, and members of council, members of staff, Mr. Mayor, of course, I accept this recognition on behalf of the Woodland Park Historical Preservation Committee, and on behalf of the city of Woodland Park, of course, because I think that we spent their dollars very well. And Sally, this will, I'm sure, find a good spot, maybe in the room that the Woodland Park Historical Preservation Committee meets.
Perfect.
Okay? So I'm going to leave it back over here for you to see, over here for you to take care of.
Do that.
Thank you very much.
Darlene Jensen, would you please come up? Darlene is the coordinator for the Main Street project and program that's going on. And sometime back when we first started and we got really active in a arts district, we started combining and dovetailing as much as we could. and a lot of our committees are really kind of the same, a lot of the same people working together. And Darlene and the Main Street group have been very influential in helping us pull some of this together, and also, in helping us find some future dollars in some of the other projects that we're going to be working on. And so we're very pleased to present this to Darlene and thanking her for helping us strengthen our community as we work together both as Main Street and through a Creative Arts District. Thank you, Darlene.
You're welcome, Ralph. Our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
One of the very strong supporters was the DDA. And Brian, would you come up, please? We spent a lot of time talking about all the different things that we could be doing and where we could work together. And Brian was always there. He was always helpful. He was always full of suggestions for us. And they did make some very strong financial support out of this too. And as Gary said, not only, as we'll talk about in the next presentation, but all of the dollars that were spent, I think that were part of the, this out of the city, were spent very, very wisely. And we appreciate it. And Brian, all the help that you've been, and both financial and from just support, we appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate your vision and everything you've done as well. Thank you.
And then I would like Neil, if you come up representing the council, and David, if you come up representing just the city in general, both of you together. Obviously, the council has been very, very supportive of what we've attempted to do in the past several years, and hopefully will continue to be that way as we work forward in moving into our next project, as we start working with Antler Arch and replacement of that one. And we're well on our way from a financial standpoint also in there. So I say to you, the council, Neil, for leading that group, and thank you for your, not just your financial support, but your backing and your understanding and all of the commitment that you have made to help us tell this story to Woodland Park. And then, David, all of your departments, there is no way I could ever even start to talk about all of the people from the city and all the ones that were individually that worked. But each one of these departments, as you know, that were involved in this. And I guess probably a little special thanks to the Public Works Department. We would have never pulled this off. Bill let a lot of his staff work on this and do a lot of work, and particularly, Suzanne up there, who was just always doing something, always helping us, always finding something, and Bruce. So I want you to tell those three people, Bill and Suzanne and Bruce, a special thanks too. I want you to be sure and recognize them. But we thank you all very much for that and for the support that you gave us. And I think that we have, as Gary said, I think that we've got dollars that were very wisely spent. And this project is not complete yet. Hopefully we're going to have where people can walk up and then take their phones and hit a QR code, and it will tell each panel, it'll tell a story, so that they can, as people come in here, and they can get the history of verbal history of Woodland Park. And so again, the Arts Alliance, Creative Arts District, would like to say thank you to everybody from the city who's been involved. And I'm looking at Sally, which we didn't, because we spent a lot of time with her in the historical, but I could go down and just name everybody. And thank you very much. We appreciate all your support in every way, and as I said, we look forward to working with you in the future on some other projects as we build our downtown and strengthen it. Thank you.
great, Ralph. Thank you very much. Okay, we will move on, and I'd like to call to the podium, not on your agenda, but would Jane Madden please come forward for a special presentation?
Mr. Mayor, council, staff, thanks for your time. This is a very last-minute addition to your agenda, and I appreciate your time to be here. But I'm happy to announce that, here, I don't know what the best, I need a drum roll. Company to the Aquatic Center project for $200,000. All right, thank you. Here, let me do that. That's the official.
Okay.
Thanks, Sally.
Yeah, give it to Lori. Well, thanks very much, Jane, and to Newmont and everybody associated. You know, to what you said, this process has been a long time coming, so, you know, it's important, I think, for us to thank you for having faith in us and believing that we would get it done. So, biggest capital project in the history of Woodland Park, and we're so glad that you could be a part of it.
We're thrilled to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. It's a dangerous crowd. I'm going to tell you, there's a bunch of school folks here that might have their eye on you. All right. Well, we have no additions or deletions this evening. We'll move on to the consent calendar, and Suzanne.
Thank you, Mayor Levy. This evening on the consent calendar, we have the February 18th minutes.
Questions, council?
Move to approve?
Suzanne?
Thank you. Levy?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, looks like we moved past agenda item number 7. We have no ordinances on initial posting and no public hearings tonight. So we'll move on to new business and the approval of resolution number 802. Suzanne?
Thank you, Mayor Levy. This evening, as council will recall, we have the resolution number 802 in support of the sales tax for educational purposes, ballot issue number 1, to be submitted to the voters in the regular municipal election to be held April 5th, 2016. As council will recall, as per your request, the city has prepared this resolution, and so tonight we just need to vote on it.
Sounds good. Any discussion? Everyone's familiar? Phil?
I'm certainly familiar. I do have something I'd like to read into the record, if I could.
Please do.
Thank you. I understand that the authors of this tax proposal have worked hard to provide an innovative solution to a real and long-standing problem. And I also appreciate that there are no easy solutions. But I'm not able to support this resolution for the following reasons. Sales taxes are inherently regressive, meaning they disproportionately and adversely impact lower-income people. Moreover, those particular people are more likely to be renters, so they won't share in the financial benefit of the mill levy reduction. Many of my colleagues, and I would include myself, have supported the laudable goal of affordable or entry-level housing for those of modest means. But it strikes me as ironic that if you support this resolution, you are economically injuring the very people you're purporting to help to provide more affordable housing. I understand that the majority of voters will benefit from the mill levy reduction and that the sales tax increase won't have a material impact on those people. But can the same be said of the young couple that rents with 2 children with a household income of $40,000? Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Anyone else with comments, questions? And if not,
Mr. Mayor, I would make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll hear a second. Second. Any other discussion? Not Suzanne.
Thank you, Mayor Levy. Levy?
Yes.
Mello?
No.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 3.
Harvey?
Pardon me.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, before we go forward, I need to read the following into the record. Council members use electronic devices to access the materials relevant to the public hearing before us. Be assured that it is the common practice of this city council that these devices are not being used for texting, emailing, or other communications during public hearings. And we will move on to...
Point of order, Mayor. Mr. Schaefer, Councilman Schaefer needs to recuse himself.
Yes. Just coming up. Phil?
I wonder if I might ask Aaron a question. This is, it may be, it just occurred to me that I might have to recuse myself.
Sure, can we take a short?
Sure, we'll
Yeah,
take a
just 60 seconds even.
Take a 1-minute break.
Thank you.
Correct. If he must recuse himself, there's no need to
Reschedule. Suzanne. Everybody want to speak to
Look at the 3rd page of this. See that 39%?
On the 3rd page?
Well, 13. Second. Oh, the very last page. Look at that. Look at that. It's pretty high.
Okay, this meeting is,
I think, given the discussion that I had with Councilman Mella outside of the chambers, I think at this time it would be helpful for Councilman Mella to make a statement on the record.
Good. With respect to that property in question, one of my very good friends is the owner of that property. And although I believe that I can make an impartial and dispassionate, objective decision, there is the perception, potentially, of a conflict. I don't believe there is, and in my heart, I believe I can be completely objective, but I wanted to speak with the city attorney to register my concern and to receive her counsel. So with that, I'm prepared to move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mellon.
Okay, that's so, we will move on, and Kip, would you like to take us through this?
Thank you. Resolution 804 is the allocation of 24 water taps for a 24 multifamily unit at Highway 67 and Valley View Drive. A request came by America West Housing Solutions to request these 24 water taps for this project. A little bit of background on the site. In March of 2000, the entire site, a 3.33-acre site, was approved for 42 multifamily units. That project did not come through. This project consists of 8 one-bedroom, 1-bath units, 12 two-bedroom baths and 2-bath units, and 4 3-bedroom, 2-bath units. The design includes a playground, community garden space, barbecue area, and a conservation area, and direct access to Centennial Trail. Conditions of this approval: multifamily projects are required to go to City Council per Section 13.27.050D. A $200 per dwelling unit fee is required to reserve these taps, and Resolution 380 adopted in 1997 established 11 criteria for multifamily water tap allocation. This project meets all 11 criteria, and currently the multifamily bank has 76 taps available. Taking out these 24 would drop that down to 52 available. Staff's recommendation is to approve Resolution 804, and I can answer any questions if you like, and the representative for the developer, Keith Meyer, is also here tonight to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Kip. Council, questions?
My question would be, Kip, although you said we had 76 taps, or 50, 76 taps available for multifamily, that can be amended at a future date if there were a demand signal for multifamily homes.
Yes.
So, okay, easy.
Anybody else? Bill, no?
I mean, I did have a, how often do we get new taps? How often do we get taps given back to the city each year? We're a building...
Never, yeah.
Let's flesh out the question. When you say given back to the city, mean unused?
For example, Trail Ridge Apartments, there used to be a trailer park there. Each trailer had a tap. When that went away, those taps came back to the city, correct?
No. They stayed with the landowner.
Okay.
And then, go ahead, Kip.
So, for example, Trail Ridge wasn't on city water. There was a small private system. So when they came in, they bought taps.
Gotcha.
If like I said, for example, this was approved for 42 units. That project didn't come through. Those taps came back and were put back in the bank.
Okay, so they were.
Well,
not very many, of course, but...
Well, they were reserved. They weren't sold, though.
Okay, so I guess I'm just coming back to Carol's thought that, she's looking at, well, we're reducing our numbers, but once in a great while, we get more back. So, okay.
When we do the annual allotment,
right.
Every year, water is looked at to see what's available and where we're going towards. There's a certain volume per capita that is established to dictate the number of taps available.
Okay, so it's not a land issue, it's a water volume issue.
As far as taps available?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And one question for Sally, just as a point of information, how many more available multifamily lots are there in the city limits?
We have about 6 or 8 tracts that are zoned for multifamily. I can provide you with a spreadsheet that details those.
Yeah, the point I would be making is that there are a limited number of tracts of land available for future multifamily projects.
That are purely zoned for multifamily. Of course, a landowner can come forward and request a zoning change or utilize a commercial parcel of property and get a conditional use permit. So there are other avenues besides those 6 or 8 tracks.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, if not, we will call for a motion to approve resolution number 804.
So moved.
Second. First and second, Suzanne?
Thank you. Mello?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you, Suzanne. We have no public hearings tonight. Go on to public comment on items not on the agenda. I have a couple of folks signed up. Let's start with Mr. Mike Perini.
Mike Perini, 1150 East First Ridge Lane, Woodland Park. Mr. Mayor, City Council, City staff, and members of the public, I'm here tonight representing a group of Woodland Park citizens who care about the economic vitality of our wonderful town. I'm here representing the group to remind all Woodland Park registered voters that this year's municipal election is April 5th. It's mail-in, so when you get it, look carefully at that ballot. That ballot's going to be a little bit busier than usual, but all of us will be making decisions for a new mayor, as well as several city council members. Also, Woodland Park RE School District will have a ballot initiative to help with school funding. And in addition, there will be 9 city charter amendments on the ballot. We believe 4 improve the city's operational efficiency, 3 save money, 1 reduces risk, and 1 improves economic vitality. We have set up a website, www.voteyes917.com, for registered voters to learn more about all 9 charter amendments. However, tonight we think 1 charter amendment needs a little more education, and that's Charter Amendment 9.17. It will be number 9 on the back side of the ballot, so be patient when you get there. But we strongly believe that passage will improve economic vitality for Woodland Park. And as you may or may not know, current wording in the city charter prohibits the city council to use municipal funds or resources or waive municipal fees or charges for services for private benefit. However, the change to 9.17 would ask voters to agree that the council would have the authority to reduce or waive city fees for new developments. And here's what's key: with public purpose. And I'd like to mention several reasons to vote yes. It will provide a powerful tool for Woodland Park to manage economic development and growth. It will help the city attract new and well-paying businesses that spur economic growth. And new businesses will increase tax revenue. It will provide an instrument to address Woodland Park's deficit in moderately priced housing that currently interferes with more people who work here being able to live here, like our police, our first responders, and our teachers. Moderately priced housing will attract a younger family and help reverse a declining school population. There will be more housing options for Woodland Park's growing senior population. And by the way, a growing younger and senior population will increase tax revenue. Also, we think it's very important to mention that 917 benefits occur with no tax increase, sales or property, to you, the voter. So finally, we also believe that without approval, Woodland Park is at a competitive disadvantage economically. So please learn more about all the charter amendments, and if you'd like for us to come to your group and make a presentation, we'd be glad to do so. And I'd like for you to mark your calendar for next Wednesday at 6:30. There will be a town hall meeting next Wednesday at 6:30 at the Cultural Center. We recommend you attend, bring your neighbor. There will be a great opportunity there to ask questions and get answers from the experts. Finally, by filling in our mail-in ballots, we can all help make Woodland Park the place to be. So again, more information is at www.voteyes917.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, next I have Deb Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Debbie Miller, 1246 Ethereal Circle, Colorado Springs. Three things to mention tonight. Our annual dinner's coming up, and there are a few tickets left. We are almost sold out, so I just wanted to mention that. Tickets have to be purchased by Monday. Secondly, our candidates forum that the Chamber is sponsoring is Wednesday, March 16th. It will be held here in City Council chambers from 6 to 8 p.m. that evening. All of the candidates that are slated on the ballot will be in attendance. Our moderator that evening will be John Thomason, who serves on the Chamber Board of Director, and I will have my trusty little stop sign and 30-second warning with me that evening as the timekeeper. So we would encourage everybody to come. It will be shown live as well that evening, so those that can't make it out that night can also watch it online. And then lastly, we just had delivered to us yesterday our new profile books. And Sally, if you could take one and pass out. I am so thrilled to have these in. These are our Woodland Park Teller County profile books that are published every 2 years, and they're out there. It's actually online as well. And I'm happy to report that last month we actually broke a record with our relocation packet requests. We had 22 people request relocation information about coming to our region. So I wanted to pass this out, give it to you, and just happy that we're able to promote our region. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. It's a beautiful book. Very nice. Okay. If nobody else that has comment, we'll move on to reports. And Mayor's report, I always like to start with the student art. Kip, could you present the student art tonight? This comes from the senior high school, Naya Ionacone. Naya Ionacone. And as I always say, there are many of these great pieces of art in the admin building. If anybody would like to have it in their business, you're more than welcome to display it. So thanks to Naya, and look forward to every week to have a great piece of art. Next up, took one of my events away, Wednesday, March 16th. I'll reiterate the Council Candidates Forum, sponsored by the Chamber from 6 to 8 here in Council Chambers. Friday, March 11th, also the Chamber of Commerce will have its annual dinner and award ceremony. So, Deb, thanks for those two. I'll just add Saturday, March 12th, Winners Farmers Market, Ute Pass Cultural Center from 9 to 1. And on Saturday, March 12th, Community Bonfire in the Woodland Station area. Food, fun, community from 6 to 8. Is that relative to 125th anniversary?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks, Sally. That will be a fun event. Bonfires always are. Lots of kids will be there. Okay, that's all I have. Mayor Pro Tem Harvey.
Well, maybe I ought to have Mike do the presentation. Is Mike still here? Just up. So on Saturday was the finale rally for the Moose is Loose campaign, and I represented you in the council, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if you knew that or not. But it was the final rally for, I hope to be a very successful promotion for our retail outlets here in the town. That was also used to promote our 125th anniversary, and we had a group from the Ute Pass Cultural Center there, and they did a great job and made me want to go to the cemetery, which I did right afterwards because they all came from the cemetery, evidently. But this is presented to you and to the council, and we'll find a lovely place to display it. It kind of had the theme this year of a campaign, or a re-election campaign or an election campaign. And then ultimately, we all toasted the town. And Mike, thanks for wherever you are out there. Thanks for organizing this. And of course, our downtown Main Street organization, DDA, Parks, or was it Park State Bank? I don't know. One of the sponsors. That's terrible. I can't remember who it was now. But anyway, a lot of effort and a lot of freebies went into this to help us overcome that slump that actually occurs right after Christmas, and I hope it was successful. So, Mr. Mayor, for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I would just like to add to that, I'm always amazed by Tanner Coy. You know, not many business owners would invite other business owners to join them in a great promotion. So Tanner started this a number of years ago. It grows every year, and so hats off to everybody that was part of the great celebration, but especially to Tanner and his great leadership and everything he does for our community. So thank you very much. Phil?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Sawyer?
Debbie, I just read through this. It's excellent. I'm a fast reader, so...
He likes the pictures.
Thank you for doing this. I see it covers all the cities, and it really, it highlights Woodland Park very well, so thank you.
John?
I have nothing this evening.
Nothing. Thank you. City Attorney report?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Mr. Buttery?
As Brian makes his way to the podium to give his report, council will recall a meeting or two ago, we received a postcard, a historic postcard from Mr. Yord from Stockton, California. Council encouraged us to recognize him in some way. With Jessica's help, we found some old pictures and took some new pictures from exactly the same location. The mayor signed a letter making him an honorary citizen of the city of Woodland Park. We sent him some koozies and frisbees and other things, and hopefully Mr. Yord, recall he said that he was in the business of making people smile, brightening their day. I'm hoping when he receives our package, it will brighten his day. Brian?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just some matters of business with the DDA. As I had mentioned previously, at a previous council report presentation, the DDA is now taking up the loan, the $1,184,000 technically loan that will be lapsing between the DDA and the city June of this year. The city manager strongly encouraged that I work with the DDA to try to figure out how to make that work, and we certainly are on the same page, and I think probably within the next 30 days we'll have something that we can present to council in terms of the looking at payment through the next 10 to 12 years. But the good news is the DDA financial outlook is good. We attended, thanks to the Chamber, Lunch and Learn, a Betty Clark Wine session on basically an update on what's happening within not only the city but the county. And the news is good relative to commercial, certainly looking at some increase in residential, but certainly within the DDA, certainly a steady growth pattern, which is what we're projecting moving forward and will help us pay the debt back to the city. So be looking forward to that, and as we move forward, and again, I'd say within the next month or so, we'll be having some conversation with council relative to that. The DDA also received a request from the Northeast Teller County Fire Protection District on a revenue share model back to the district, and I mapped the proposal out for the DDA board at our last meeting this Tuesday. We will be taking that up as well in the Finance Subcommittee meeting. And again, I anticipate we'll have some resolution with that in the next 30 days that looks at some of the issues that the fire district is facing currently. So again, that'll be something that I'll keep the council apprised to as we move forward. That will have to be adopted via resolution if the board elects to do something moving forward. I don't know if you're aware, but the farmers market, they're looking for a home this summer, and the DDA is very interested in seeing them locate within Lot 2, if you're familiar with Lot 2, just west of the Woodland Hardware. We are working with the city planning staff to try to accommodate them for the summer. Some of the things that we're looking at, of course, are parking and just a stable environment for them to set up their vendors. I think they're looking at 100 vendors, including the crafts fair. So we're excited about having them in DDA, not only promoting Woodland Station, but also supporting farmers market over the summer. So again, we're looking forward to that taking place as we move forward. Main Street, I had mentioned at our at the last presentation to council, the Main Street via Darlene Jensen and the Main Street Board and the various committee activities that are going on with projects. And I'm happy to report that we have 3 specific projects, Woodland Station kiosk signage, where there will be a cost share with DOLA with a mini grant of $2,500, downtown walkability study in cooperation with city planning and the University of Denver students, again with a cost share from DOLA in the amount of $2,750. And then finally, providing consulting service in cooperation with DOLA, DDA, and city planning to establish a visioning plan for downtown, including Woodland Station, with a full DOLA grant, Department of Local Affairs, $5,000 grant. So congratulations to Darlene and her efforts in the Main Street Board and the various committees that have been involved with this effort moving forward. It's an important step to get recognition for a further certification with the state of Colorado under the Main Street program. And I've been very pleased with the progress and the board's passion so far in wanting to move forward and getting various projects completed. And finally, on your desktop, there's a spreadsheet. President of the Chamber, Debbie Miller, coordinated a meeting that where we were able to meet with Tim Reidner, Cedarwood Development, Trail Ridge, the city manager, and myself. Met with Greg Moore, who's the director of the college, and Chris Seuss, I think I've said that correctly, to get an update. Tim, representing Trail Ridge, looking at the possibility of a phase 2 at Trail Ridge, really wanted to ask some questions about what's happening with the college, growth, et cetera. They graciously have given us some data sets that I'll go over here. But the general notion is that they're very encouraged by growth moving forward. If you look at the first page, 2014-15 demographic report, there's some interesting things that stand out. There's a progression, and I'll note the opening date, 10/30/14 here, and there was approximately 630 students that had enrolled at that point in time. They have 3-year program, and in the first year you can see the age categories. I think we've all known, we've been told that there's an older student population here, but that ranges from almost 57% of the students in the first year are between the age of 40 and 69. In the second year, that number is 62%. In the third year, that number goes up to 72%. So it's a very telling statistic in terms of the age and demographic. What's even more interesting, if you look under housing on that first page, the various categories listed include in and out of Teller County. The 3 areas that were identified within Teller County are Woodland Park, Florissant, Divide. 190 students, which is approximately 1/3 of the various 39% of the various students that live within Teller County. If you looked on the next page, 2015-16 demographic report, you go back to the age group, it goes down slightly. You're seeing a little bit more younger student come in, but in that same category, age 41 to 70, there's over 56% of the students are in that age category. What's continues to be interesting, again, as of 9/17/2015, 45% of the students are now living in Teller County. 309 students all in all, 249 in Woodland, 25 Divide, Florissant 35. Remember that particularly that Colorado Springs number is going down, and you're seeing more people living in Teller County. Last page, I want to point out on the next page, just I find it interesting, 58 international students from 19 countries are attending, okay? And I found this interesting, 30 veterans utilizing GI benefits, so they do
Brian,
get the opportunity to do that.
Brian, can I interrupt you there?
Sure.
Do you know now if the Bible College is an accredited college? Because you cannot use VA tuition at a non-accredited college.
Well, that's a good question. They must have the accreditation, because I've asked a question about the VA benefits before, and that is their data. There are 30 veterans utilizing their GI benefits, so I guess the short answer is they must have accreditation to use those benefits. Whether they're fully accredited, I don't know. Deb, I don't know if you have any.
They're not fully accredited at this point, and it has to do with the 501c3 status. And Greg told us in that meeting that there was something that they worked out to be able to use the GI Bill.
I know they're not on the list of accredited colleges to receive that tuition assistance.
Somehow they're making it happen. So we can find out a little bit more about that and report back. But I have asked that question before, and the answer was yes, so I can find out a little bit more about that. Last page is January of this year, 378 students now in Teller County, out of a total of 772, representing 49% of the students that live now in Teller County. Again, 302 in Woodland Park, 35 in Divide, and about 41 in Florissant. So some of that, being a resident of Trail Ridge, I know in talking with the management consistently, they believe about a third of those residents have some Caris affiliation. We see the interesting conversation about multifamily. I think a lot of what's happening at Caris will also drive multifamily, and that's going to have a significant impact on Woodland Park, Teller County, into the next 5 to 10 years. Because there will be, like we said, Trail Ridge is looking at the Cedarwood company is looking at a Trail Ridge too, seriously considering that. And so we'll see other apartment projects coming in that would accommodate some of this growth. That's all I had this evening. Mayor, I was going to also talk about the bonfire. I had the pleasure of attending the last bonfire. It was a lot of fun, and I would encourage everybody to attend on March 12th. So thank you. Any questions or comments from the council at this point?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
And that's all we have this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Move on to item number 14. I have one bit of written correspondence I've been asked to read. Dear City Council, tonight the council is considering allocating 24 water taps for another multi-family project. Projects like this are good for the city. In the last few years, the city has or will collect substantial sums of money for 200 or so multifamily units, in addition to other large-scale commercial projects, most notably Womack Ministries. There is also no doubt an uptick in single-family tap fees being collected as well. At the time Womack was going through permitting, the council was informed that projects such as this are good for the city utility as they broaden the base of ratepayers and bring in substantial tap fees. My question is this: since that time, water rates have not been reduced, and I believe there is talk of raising them even more. As a ratepayer, I think it makes sense for the council to look at this situation closely and determine when, not if, rates can be reduced for residents. Thanks for your time. Signed, Todd Weissman. And council, if there's nothing else, this meeting's adjourned.